I'm Marian O'Rourke Kaplan, and we're going to finish up our bustier top in the demonstration of how to finalize the closure, set a zipper, and join the lining unit to the shell unit so we have a finished garment. I've created a little dummy of the back just to show you how to prepare for a zipper when you're setting a facing. And this technique can work for any garment, whether it's a bustier or not. When you know that you're going to be setting a centered or a lapped zipper, you should, and you have a facing or a lining at the neck edge, you should do this kind of preparation so that you have a nice clean finish at the neck. You want to take your lining unit, which has the facing to it for this particular garment. And if you were doing a different garment, you might just have a facing, okay? That's fine. But you take the facing, the face of it, and you put it against the face of your exterior garment at the neck. We have 3/4 of an inch seam allowance allowed for the zipper. And a centered zipper, which is what's in this particular garment that I've been demonstrating, means that it's going to be folded exactly on the 3/4. So I want to fold back my lining so that instead of being at 3/4 where it would actually get caught in the teeth of the zipper, I'm going to roll it back 1/4 of an inch additional. So I've rolled it back, the seam allowance back into the garment 1/4 of an inch further than that notch for center back. And then I'm going to take my self unit and I'm going to bend it at the 3/4 and wrap it over that. Okay, so now there's 1/4 of an inch space between where the lining facing unit rolls and where the garment self seam allowance rolls. Then I'm just going to sew my neck edge. At the 1/4. And we turn it out. Put your scissors up in there or pencil or something. And you'll see that it's created a jog, and the zipper will be joined with this piece, the self, and the lining will come down and offset so that it won't get caught in the teeth of the zipper. So I've done that when I joined my support bodice self unit to my lining unit, and I did that on both neck edges and hem edges. That same technique. And in the end, you have a space for your zipper that allows 1/4 of an inch play, so that when we put our zipper in here, the lining won't get caught when the zipper's pulled up and down. Okay? So now we're ready to set the zipper. You need a separating zipper for a garment like this because it won't go over the shoulders with this tight of a hem. So it needs to be a zipper that'll open up at the bottom. And generally they come in assorted sizes, but they never seem to be the size you need. So get a longer one, and we're going to shorten it. It's very easy to shorten. You need to first lay your zipper in place so that we can see truly what length we need. And we come up to the top. Now, the zipper head should be about 1/4 of an inch below the top of your garment. That allows space for a hook and eye at the neck, and it keeps it from being very lumpy right at the top. So if my head is there, then I want to have 1 inch longer zipper than I need. So I can cut this off. Sure, and don't take your zipper head up. And then instead of cutting them the length that they really need to finish, we don't want that zipper head to pull out. So you keep that 1 inch tail and you bend it down towards you. And pin it in place. Okay, so for a centered zipper, we're going to have the folded edge. I pressed my allowances at the 3/4. Okay, so that's prepared that in advance. And I'm going to set that folded edge right in the middle of the coil of the zipper. Okay, this is the coil of the zipper. So I want that to come to the center of that so it'll meet the other side. I'm going to get this pin going the other direction so that I can sew across it. So you just move this out of the way. If you want to, you can pull it up a little bit, the lining I'm talking about, and start at the neck edge, stitching. You want to be consistent on the distance between the fold and your stitch line. So pay attention to where the space between the fold and your zipper foot is the easiest way to gauge that. And maintain a nice even distance. And then pull the lining unit, I've pulled it out of the way. Okay, so you can see that that one side is put in. Now we have to do the other side. You do it the same way. Make sure that you line things up. You want to line up your hem edge. You want to line up, in my case, I've got these 2 points that come together at the waist. And then turn down your little tab on this side. And make sure your neckline matches up. Okay, so this one we're going to sew the same way. I'm going to turn this inside out so it's easier for me to get to it. A little stiff with the bones. There. It'll be easier for me to sew from the inside like this. So do that. And the thing you want to watch here is to make sure that indeed your seams and your necklines match up. And as you go along, be sure and check and make sure that your lining is not getting caught. Removing the pins as I go so I don't get tucks where they are. I'm almost to the end. So I've set my zipper. All that I have left to do is to slip stitch my lining along the edge of that zipper by hand, which I'm not going to demonstrate, but and you can see that it leaves a nice void on the inside so that there won't be any catching. But just pin it in place and then slip stitch it by hand. And that's what the inside will look like. And this is what the outside will look like. And you have room up at top for a hook and eye to hold that very top together. Maybe some threads to be clipped, but a hook and eye will hold that top together. Now, I could have done a better stitch job there. It's not very straight, but if it wasn't contrasting thread, it would certainly look better. But there's your finished bustier project.